Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and this is going to be a little bit different because I've already done my dip pattern nails. They're activated, so now I'm getting to the point of being ready to file and buff. So I want to show you what that process is, real time, no edits. So like I said, I did my dip powder nails. I waited at least 2 minutes for my dip powder to harden. So now I'm going in with my skinny nail file. I love this nail file because it's so skinny. It tucks right in between my cuticle area and sidewalls, just a bit like crisper lines. So anytime I file and buff, I do like to use my dust collector. So I've got this one from MelodySusie. It isn't a portable one, but I love it just the same. I got it off of Amazon when it was on sale, and it works really well. I've been using it for maybe over a year now, and I haven't had any issues with it. And I love that, any dust collector is going to make noise, but it is a bit quieter and it works pretty well. So I have no complaints. I'll leave that linked down below in the description if you're looking for a dust collector. But whenever I file and buff, I like to start with my cuticle area and sidewalls, clean them up on all my nails. I also like to clean up my shape a little bit, crispen it up. And then after I finish with all that, then I will go in and do any debulking if needed. I'll do some buffing, and then I'll finish up by cleaning up my shape a little bit more. Just because I'm really picky about my shape, I like to make sure that my almonds are crisp. And the bulk of your nails will impact your shape. So after I do some debulking, I have to go back and revisit my shape. But so it's a little bit of back and forth, but that's what I find works best for me for my process. So I'm just taking that skinny nail file. I can see I'm just kind of like making sure that I don't want my nails pointy because they're not stilettos, but I do want them a little more tapered at the end. So just cleaning that up, making sure I've got my sidewalls cleaned up, that I don't have any excess product on my skin, and then cleaning up my cuticle area as well. So my plan was that I was going to do this entire dip powder mani real time, no edits. So I recorded it. I was just talking through it. I was just going to let it flow. It was just going to be a longer video because I wanted to see how you felt about a video like that. So if you're newer, sometimes it may be better just to see like real time what it looks like. So you know that you're not alone, that it takes a long time to do a dip powder mani. So I put this in my editing app. I uploaded my clips and I realized that I got like 2 nails done and I stopped to like blow my nose, and I guess I forgot to hit record. So like I lost most of the footage and it started back again with the filing. So I was like, well, I don't have time to re-record this. I've already got the mani done. So I decided let's just pivot, because I think sometimes it's nice to see a filing process as well. So this is going to be, actually turns out a little bit shorter because I'm not doing the dip powder, but let me know what you think. Do you like seeing the filing process real time with no edits? Would you like to see my end-to-end dip powder process from dipping to filing to top coat and all that end-to-end with no edits? Obviously, it would be probably an hour plus, but that would show you like what my real process looks like. Let me know what you think, and I will try again if you think that's something you'd be interested in, because when I was recording it, I was thinking, I'm not sure. I get worried about uploading longer videos, but if that's something that you would find helpful, please let me know and I can actually do that, because that's what I attempted to do and I just failed miserably at it. So if you're curious, this is for the dip powders that I'm using are from CN Designer Dips. This is from the Sakura collection. So it's 4 dip powders in the collection. So you've got 2 solids. So on my index finger is Peach Mochi, which is a sheer, like jelly-like peach color. On my pinky is Kawaii Kisses, which is a light pink color. I've got on my middle finger, I forgot the name of it. Shoot, and I don't have the jar in front of me, but it's a thermal. It's a heavy shimmer and it's a thermal. And then on my ring finger and thumb is Sakura, which is it's like on a milky white base. It's got really pretty like pink hollow foils. It's got these like caviar type glitters on them. They're really unique, but That's what I'm wearing. So once I finished with the skinny nail file, I'm going to use this, what's it called? The Ergo file. This is a glass Ergo nail file from Bona Fide Beauty. I love this for doing my cuticle area and sidewalls because of the curve of it. It just tucks in really nicely. So I like to do that after I go in with the skinny nail file, after I've cleaned that up a little bit. And it just gets like really clean cuticle lines. So you can see it kind of fits there, and then the curve just kind of makes it easier to file in. So I really love it. I do have an affiliate code with Bona Fide Beauty. You can use code BFB Genie10 to save 10% off your orders. I will make a small commission if you use it, so thank you for supporting me if you like to use it. I'll leave their website linked down below in the description. I know you can find them off Amazon, but my discount code will only work on their website. So make sure if you want to buy something from Bona Fide Beauty and use the discount code, make sure you use the link down below in the description. Okay, so I just looked it up. So on my middle finger is Hanami. So this is the thermal. So you can definitely see that thermal change. So when it's warm, it's like that light peachish color. And then cold at my free edge, you see that pink. It's really beautiful. It's a heavy shimmer. And I swear no one does shimmers like C in Designer Dips. They do shimmers so well. They're some of my favorites. They're heavier, but they're really easy to use. And they're always like one coat coverage. I'm pretty sure this one is probably chromable as well. Most of their shimmers are, not all of them, but most of them are chromable. And so that's an always like extra perk of it. The other thing I forgot to mention is Sakura, which is on my thumb and ring finger. It's actually a UV change. So what that means is right now you see it in just its normal natural state, but if you expose it to UV light, so if you go out in the sun, it will change color. So it turns to like a dark pink color if it gets exposed to UV light. It's a little bit different to thermal. So thermals, you know, it changes with the temperature. I find with like UV changers, like as soon as they come out of the sun, like as soon as it's not exposed to the UV light, they change pretty quickly. So that's like a little bit of difference of you'll only really see that change as it's exposed. So anyway, I finished with my filing. So I feel like the dip powders are thin enough to where I didn't really need to debulk. So I decided I'm not really going to file my nails. So I'm just going to take my little buffing block. I get this big pack of buffing blocks off of Amazon as well. I'll leave everything linked down below in the description. So just check there. And then if I'm missing something, let me know and I'll see if I can find you a link. But I'm just going to go ahead and buff my nails. I want to make sure everything is smooth, which for the most part they are. So I'm just going to smooth everything out, make sure I'm happy with that. I also like to make sure that I'm buffing my free edge as well. Make sure I don't have any like sharp edges so I don't end up like scratching my face, and that kind of like softens the shaping of my free edge as well. So don't forget when you're buffing to buff your free edge as well. After I finish with my buffing, I want to take one final pass to crisp up my shape to make sure that it's the way I want it. So this is from Bona Fide Beauty as well. This is the coarse grit glass nail file. So this glass nail file in particular is meant for acrylic or dip powder nails. So it is coarser. It's too coarse for your natural nails. So do not use it on your natural nails, but it works so well for your acrylic or dip powder nails. I love using it to clean up my shape a little bit just because I feel like it just does like such a good job. So I will go, you know, a little bit around my sidewalls and cuticle area as well, but really I just want to make sure that I am readjusting my almond shape as needed just to make sure I have it, you know, the way I want it. I don't want it too pointy, but I do want it a little bit rounded and tapered because I prefer more of a tapered almond look. So this glass nail file is really great for that. And did I mention this? I forgot if I mentioned it or not, but only one side of this nail file has that grit to it. The other side is just smooth glass. So there's only one side you could use to it. I'm not really sure why it's only one-sided. Well, maybe it's because you probably don't want the coarse grit touching your skin. It may be too coarse for that. So maybe I talked myself out of that. But anyway, regardless, I went ahead and did that. I felt like my ring finger was still a little bit too thick. I wanted to see if I could debulk it a little bit more, so I'm just going back in with the buffing block. And the reason this is a little bit thicker and I'm going back in with on my ring finger is because I did 2 dips of Sakura. I didn't do like any placement of glitters or foils or anything like that, but I capped it in clear because I wanted to protect those glitters. And I found that I was actually missing there were some places where the glitter wasn't completely covered and I didn't want to file and buff through it. So I actually ended up capping in clear again. So this is actually 4 layers of dip powder, 2 layers of Sakura, 2 layers of clear dip powder. So I just wanted to make sure my nails weren't too bulky, too thick, which it wasn't bulky. I just wanted to see if I could thin it down a little bit more. So as I was kind of buffing, I was just being really careful, being mindful, watching out. If it looked like I was getting too close to the glitter, like if I was getting down to the glitter, I would have stopped. So I was just watching to make sure that I still had like a layer of clear dip powder protecting that glitter, just to make sure I didn't file through it, because I didn't want to file through the color of glitter, because most glitters, the center is silver. So if you file through the glitter, you'll kind of see where there's the silver and not the color anymore. So I'm happy with that. I feel like it's a little bit thinner, a little bit more manageable. So now I'm going to continue on and make sure that I'm cleaning up my shape a little bit more now that I've removed a little bit more of that bulk. And since we're already here and I have it recorded, I'm going to show you my top coat process as well. So I will be using my CN Designer Dips Gel Base and Gel Top Coat. I'm not going to be using Dip Top Coat for today's mani. But before I do anything, I need to make sure that I'm removing all that dust from the filing and buffing. So I've got a lint-free wipe and some isopropyl alcohol, and I want to make sure that I'm wiping down my nails really well to remove any of that dust. So I want to make sure that I'm getting in between like the sidewall and cuticle areas as well, in case there's any dust in there, because I don't want to get any dust in my top coat. As well as if I get dust in my top coat, I could also contaminate my bottle of gel top coat. So I want to make sure that my nails are thoroughly clean. So I'm starting with my gel base coat first. So the CN Designer Dips gels, they are a HEMA-free formula, but you still want to be careful regardless, because HEMA is not the only thing that you could be allergic to or have sensitivities to. So I do my thumb separately. So I'm just applying a thin, even layer of gel base to my entire thumb. And so I just start with the brush. I brush downwards towards my free edge and then upwards towards my cuticle area. Once I have that on, I'm just going to flash cure it. So just a quick 15 seconds in the lamp, just to make sure that that gel doesn't move on me. And the reason I'm doing gel base coat first is because my dip powder nails are smooth. So I buffed them smooth, but your gel top coat, it needs something to grip onto, to adhere to. So if I were to go straight in with my gel top coat without that layer of gel base first, it would peel because my nails are too smooth. So going in with a layer of gel base, because it's tacky, it gives something for that gel top coat to adhere to. So if you want longer lasting gel top coat, if you have problems with your gel top coat peeling on your dip powder nails, make sure that you're going in with a layer of gel top coat first. I know I've heard people say that they can just like rough up the surface of their nails and then go straight in with the gel top coat without the base coat. But then I feel like you can see the scratches, which I don't like. So I like to do gel base first. That approach has never failed me. And then you can actually sort of see it, it's faded now that my hand's been out of the lamp for a little bit. But you could, once I took my hand out of the lamp, you could really see that UV change of Sakura on my ring finger and thumb because it turns into like that deeper, darker pink color. If you did notice, I had that little bit of a twitch. So I did end up getting like a little bit of gel on my skin. So I want to make sure that I'm cleaning that up. So I've got my orange wood stick. I'm removing any of that gel that I got on my skin. Anytime you get any gel on your skin, make sure that you clean it up immediately. Don't go ahead and cure it. Clean it up. So you can use an orange wood stick. You can use like a cuticle pusher. You can even use like a little cleanup brush and some isopropyl alcohol or some acetone, but make sure you're cleaning that up because uncured gel on your skin can lead to allergies, sensitivities. So you need to make sure you're being very careful. So I had the gel base. I've finished putting that on all my nails. I'm giving it my hand a full cure for 60 seconds in my lamp. I have my lamp off to my side. Usually with gel base coats, the instructions are cure for 30 seconds, but I'm hearing more and more lately that it's better to cure all gels for 60 seconds, and I'd rather be safer than sorry. So I'm starting the habit of curing all my gels regardless of whether it's a gel color, gel base, whatever it may be. I'm curing for a full 60 seconds just because I want to make sure that they're fully cured. And then once I finish with that, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my gel top coat. And the same thing, I'm going to start with my thumb first. And did I mention this? The reason I do my thumb first is because when I'm laying my hand flat, my thumb lays sideways. So if I had wet gel on my thumb and it was laying sideways, the wet gel could start running into my sidewall on my skin, which I don't want to happen. So you can see that change right now from just coming straight out of the lamp. So with my gel top coat, I like to start with capping my free edge first. So I apply that gel top coat on my free edge and then I will do the surface of my nails. And the reason I do my free edge first is because as you're capping your free edge, it could cause a ledge on the surface of your nail. So if you cap your free edge, you have that little bit of a ledge and then you do the surface of your nail. As you're doing the surface of your nail, you're smoothing out that ledge. Whereas if you did it last, you would just cure that ledge, which that it's a texture thing. It would bother me. So that's kind of why I like to cap my free edge first before I do the surface of my nails. So again, I'm flash curing only for 15 seconds just to make sure that top coat isn't moving on me. And then I'm going to do the rest of my nails. So there you can see that UV change. For the rest of my nails, I'm going to start with capping my free edge. Then I'll do the surface of my nails. And then once I have my nails top coated, I'm going to go ahead and give my whole hand a full cure for 60 seconds. Okay, so I did end up editing out the curing because I figured you didn't want to sit there and listen to music for 60 seconds. So I'm going to do one more thing. This is my glass cuticle pusher from Bona Fide Beauty. So the one end is a slanted end, the other end is a pointy end. So I like to go in and just make sure that I'm cleaning up one last time around my cuticle area and sidewalls, because there can be some leftover gunk. I could get some gel in there. So I like to just take that and do a little bit of scraping, get underneath my nail as well, because I do get dip powder stuck underneath my nail. And I like to just do this one final cleanup step. Is it necessary? No, probably not, but I'm showing you my real-time honest process. And yes, I do go a little bit crazy. I do probably more than necessary, but this is what I do. So, I mean, you don't have to do it, but I like to do it just to make sure that I've got everything cleaned up. It doesn't take too long either. I feel like it just makes that little bit of extra difference just to do that final step of cleanup. I'll tell you when this step really comes in handy is if you're working with a darker dip powder color that stains your skin. If you just like apply a generous amount of cuticle oil or something, let that soak in a little bit, and then go in with this side of the tool and just do a little bit of scraping, that really does help get up some of that staining. It may not get all of it, but it actually does make a difference in that cleanup, just because it can be so frustrating when that darker color starts staining your skin. I'm sure you can tell by now just how much I love my glass accessories for the cleanup of my nails, whether it's dip powder nails, gel polish nails, natural nails. I just think they work so well. They're so effective. They're better for the environment because you can just give them a rinse and they're reusable. You don't have to worry about throwing them out, replacing them. As long as I don't drop them and break them, they are just so wonderful. And long before I had an affiliate code with Bona Fide Beauty, I've been using their products. They're my favorite glass products. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many glass nail files and cuticle pushers I have from Bona Fide Beauty, just because I just think the quality is really great. So I highly recommend them if you want to do a little bit of cleanup. And I just love how gentle the regular, not the coarse grit one, but the regular glass nail files, they're just so gentle on your natural nails that they're really good. I love using them for shaping my natural nails. Rather than clipping them, I do shaping. So now that I finished with that last step of cleanup, I'm going to remove any of that excess dust, as well as, even though this is a non-wipe gel top coat, it still could have a little bit of an inhibition layer. So I want to make sure that I'm wiping down my nails, removing any of that excess chemical from the gel top coat, just to be a little extra safe. And as always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles with my Scales of Mermaid cuticle oil. This is in the Woodland, which was released back in February or March, I believe. So this is a mainline scent, and I loved it so much I went back and bought it in a dropper bottle because I only had it in the roller. But it is such a great fruity scent, and my skin right now is screaming at me. It's so dry and crusty because of all that isopropyl alcohol I use. And the isopropyl alcohol I use is like 95%. So it's pretty high up there. So it's really drying. So I want to make sure that I'm rehydrating my cuticles. I'm cleaning up my area because I'm sure you don't want to see that background. But that pretty much wraps up today's video. So I'm rehydrated. The mani is done. And even though it didn't end up being what I had planned, hopefully you found it helpful to see my filing process. The plan was to do real time talking through it instead of voiceover, but because I had to pivot and redo this video in a different way, that's why you get voiceover. So hopefully you don't mind, but let me know how you felt about this and if you'd like to see entire end-to-end dip powder to cuticle oil. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.